voice, please. Yam Brahma Varunanda Rudra Suddhananda Divyastave Vedesh Angavadakramo-upanishade Gayantiyam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyantiyam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidussurasuragana Devaya Tasmai. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagnidagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddha Tyaktva karma phala sangam nityatrupto nirasrayah karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti sah Nirasiryata chittatma Tyakta sarva parigraha Sariram kevalam karma Kuruvannapnoti kilvisham. So, as you have been seeing these places where it is described as to how to act on in life. At no time we must equate wisdom with inactivity. Since activity, engagement, involvement, interaction seemingly create problem for individual. Naturally, therefore, everybody thinks inactivity, isolation, running away from involvement will solve the problem. That is why we see there are two different directions in the world. Pravritti marga, nivritti marga. Pravritti means some people get themselves involved in order to be happy in life. Some people, tired of involvement, go into isolation, a denial mode. So sometimes somebody is in indulgence mode, sometimes somebody is a denial mode. Youth usually in indulgence mode. In adult old age, usually denial mode, but not necessarily true. A person can be young or old, but means nothing. Somebody gets some type of happiness, satisfaction in indulging in activity, and tired of activity, somebody goes into the isolation, inaction. So naturally, therefore, people think if activity is samsara, in the wheel of life you are caught in, inactivity is liberation. So that is why most people, in the name of religion, become usually inactive, lazy, because for them, as though meditation is an activity, devotion is an activity. You don't understand, meditation is not an activity. Meditation is yourself. Devotion is not an activity. Devotion is an attitude, where you are with your own self, and therefore very clearly recognize that your physical body belongs to the totality. It forms the part of the macrocosm. Same thing also your mind. But the person who is very, very involved with the physical body, identified with the physical body, he cannot even accept this idea that this body forms the part of totality. So that is where the so-called intelligent person, the so-called learned, educated people, they just foo-foo this whole idea. Because for them, this conditioning is so very strong that this body is me. There is no question of this being part of somebody or something. So that is where they totally lose sight of the totality. Anyway, since average person considers inactivity as the religion or inactivity as the wisdom, naturally Bhagavan, here Krishna, here completely dispels that myth, that idea that in order to be a person who is inactive is a happy person or a wise person. A wise person may choose to be active or inactive, but neither activity can give you happiness, freedom, nor the so-called inactivity, which is also a form of activity, can give you solace or freedom. Be free. Choose to act or not to act. That is the whole principle. First, you be free. Find that freedom, be happy with yourself. Then, choosing to act or not to act must be your choice. That is your choice. But at no time, the person should think, I am happy because of my involvement in life. Other people are all lazy bones. Not necessarily true. Or just because you are contented, satisfied, and you have no ambitions, nothing whatsoever, therefore don't say other people should not be active, because you cannot even sustain your body unless you are active. So that is why if you take care of the sustenance of your body by begging or by exploiting somebody, you become a natural parasite in the world, because you are not working for your own sustenance. So it has to be very, very carefully recognized. That is, what is this action and what is this wisdom, and how exactly I must act on in life. So therefore, here very clearly say that what exactly this action is, hey Arjuna, difficult to talk about. We have seen it elaborately. What is karma, activity, akarma, inactivity, bikarma, nishiddha karma, prohibited action. Very, very difficult to talk about, because even the inactivity can be a type of activity. The so-called good action can be a part of a crime. The so-called crime also can be part of a wonderful activity. It always depends as to who is the actor. That is why, since it all begins with yourself, so long before you go on acting, know the actor, be yourself. That is why the last verse that we saw, that is the Agni Pariksha, Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam, where every knowledge passes through the strict inspection, where you look for yourself, your every speech, are you conscious? Your every movement, are you conscious? Your every thought, are they deliberate? You must see it very, very clearly. That is where the the whole knowledge, call it devotion, call it whatever you say, comes to an end, because there is the ultimate fulfillment. You are totally aware of yourself and therefore happy with yourself, free with yourself. And for such a person, Pandita iti, Buddha Panditam iti vadanti. They say this is a wise person. And why is he so? Because this is how he functions in life. Tyaktva. Karma phala sangam. Nitya trupta sanne, nirasraya. Nitya trupta sanne, eternally contented, always trupta. We saw it in the earlier stages also. Atmarati, atmatruptasya manava, atmanyeva santushta, atmani trupta. Contented with himself. There is no sense of waiting for happiness outside. Why this type of concept coming again and again? Because every time this concept is given, you are tested. You see for yourself, is it true? Because when you listen to one time statement, oh, it may register, may not register. Again and again he says, Atmarati, Atmatupta, Atmakrid, Atmaneva Santushta, always contented with yourself. Are you? If it is so, the test is Nirasraya. You have no dependence on anything. That is your test. If you are Nitya Trupta, if you are eternally satisfied, contented with yourself, you naturally shall be a Nirasraya. No more dependence, Asraya. You don't take shelter on anything. Some people find shelter in anger, some people in hatred, some people in jealousy, some people in compassion, some people in relationship, some people in starvation, some people in indulgence. But where is your shelter? For the wise person, the shelter is himself. No activity, there is no such activity behind which he hides himself. People can hide behind this facade of goodness, hide behind the facade of a compassion, kindness, so-called fulfillment. But here is a person, Nitya Truptaha Nirasraya. He is absolutely independent. And tasmat, why is it so? Such a person, karma phala sangam tyaktva, completely, naturally gives up the dependence on the result of action. Karma phala asakti, abhimanam tyaktva. No more he identifies himself with the result of the action. And therefore, karmani abhipravrittopi, even though karmani in action, abhipravrittopi, continuously getting engaged, naiva kinchit karoti saha, kurvannapi na karoti, even though he is getting himself involved in every activity, he does not do anything, like an actor. The actor playing the role of a king does not become a king. Plays the role of a beggar, does not become a beggar. Plays the role of a, holy person or unholy person, a dacoit or whatever. Whatever role he plays, the role is played for the particular occasion. See the beauty. If you really appreciate the beauty of it, understand? If you really appreciate the beauty of it, every role becomes beautiful. Because you cannot escape the moods of life also. Certain times you may have to shout it a little more. Maybe you have to show a little anger. Showing anger and being angry are two different things. Are you getting that? Showing little concern and totally lost in or totally involved in somebody's problem is another thing. Krishna was involved with Pandava's problem, but he was not lost in it. You shall know for yourself. Please understand. Karmani abhipravrittopi. Even though you are continuously involved, even though you are continuously involved in every activity, yet you are never lost in that. When shall you know that you are lost in or not lost in? Think. When shall you know you are lost or not lost in? Look at a child, you will know it. Very simple. Suppose you are reading a book. Simple example. Take the example of a child. The child is playing with his toys. Take the toy, see what happens. The child is playing with his toys. You just take the toy, what happens? He will bring the roof down. He is very quietly playing with the thing. But the moment you take it, totally he brings the roof down. Why? Because he is totally lost in the game. You are doing something. Somebody says, please don't do, and see your reaction. Anything. It doesn't matter, I am consciously doing, not consciously. If you are consciously doing, why are you protesting? You are unconsciously doing, of course, then you are just another stupid person, I mean, in a sense, you understand. It's like an animal. Naturally, therefore, flare up. If you are consciously doing, you don't have to explain yourself. Suppose I am sitting down here, simply I am sitting down here and shaking my leg, just as they say. You are just a lazy one. You are a lazy bone, you are simply sitting here and then somebody says, why are you wasting your time here? All right, what am I supposed to do? Go to a room. Thank you. You go to the room. Why? What shall he do there? What does he know? What is that? You see, suppose you are not doing anything here sitting down. Same thing you can do in a room, sitting down, doing nothing. Why can't I sit down? Why? Suppose somebody asks you, just think of it. Suppose a person is responsible. If you are a conscious actor, the taste of it is you do not get worked up. This is your training ground. Understand? This is your training ground. That is why you, when you study and you are continuously striving to express that wisdom into action in your life, you are absolutely conscious. You have chosen not to react. Not that you cannot react, listen carefully, not that you cannot react, but you choose not to react. Because throughout the life you have been reacting. Throughout the life you have been reacting from childhood until now. What are you doing? How many people act? Only wise man acts. Ignorant people continuously react. Reaction. Reacting to something. Even your speech is a reaction. Suppose somebody says, hey, you idiot. Now this one is an action and reaction. If somebody says something, don't do it. Why you can where from that comes? Because somebody is preventing the flow, understand? It's just like a river. Even river also rebels. If river is flowing, if you put it here, it will go there and destroy the village and go. Anything. You are going in a speed, you are going in a particular activity, in a particular direction. Somebody says, no. Then what do you do? So angry. Are you a conscious actor? Please understand. So, karmani abhipravrittopi na karoti. Even though he is involved in every action. What that action means what? Action is a general term. Any speech, whether he is listening something, tasting, touching, smelling, seeing, hearing, experiencing, thinking, whatever he does not feel prevented, does not feel obstructed. Understand? Such a person will have absolutely no agitation. You can choose, whenever somebody says something, does something, you can choose to, you are absolutely conscious of your reactions within, but you don't succumb to it. Naiva kinchit karoti. See, why should I do that? That way, more and more you are conscious, more and more you are established in yourself. Because most people ask, why should I do that? What is the need? Why should I do that? So everybody will tell me I will be like a doormat. Everybody just walks on me. What do I get out of it? What do you get out of it? You get absolute wisdom, absolute strength. Imagine 1,000 people walking on you, like a spring, you jump back. 100 people talking nonsense about you, you are absolutely confident of yourself. Everybody tries to humiliate you, but you remain steady with yourself. What do you think of it? Why should I do it? Ask yourself a question. Why should you do it? Because you shall be totally at ease with yourself. Every such obstacle is a test for your wisdom. Like every obstacle you pass, stronger you come out of it. That is how you do not react to any type of situation. Meaning, hey, don't take it literally. Not reacting means not speaking, nothing, no. The physically remaining uninvolved does not mean mentally you are not reacting. I'm talking about even the reactions inside doesn't touch you. Physically, a person can keep very quiet. Why? It is either because he is a defeatist, weak, cannot retaliate, cannot do anything. Physical non-involvement, non-retaliation is not sign of wisdom. What is happening inside? Are you physically you can be absolutely quiet because you know if you open your mouth you can be bashed up, but your mind is talking 2000 kilometers per hour. That fellow is a rascal, that fellow is doing like that. You go on reacting inside. That is not the point. The point is, even when you listen to somebody, when he gives a comment on you or on your activity, you are so much aware of yourself as to who you are, the other person's commentary on your role or the other person's commentary on the action that the role undertakes do not touch you. That doesn't touch you. The commentary doesn't touch you because you are with yourself. That is why throughout the day ask yourself a question. How are you living in this world? If every little thing, friends, if every little statement can upset you, you can't even manage a small family. What to talk about country, society, continents. You understand? Who can take responsibility? Think. Who can take responsibility? A person who reacts to every little speech, every little action, every little comment, can he take a responsibility? Think. You cannot. Even when the whole world is talking about it, you are absolutely sure of yourself, who you are. And there is one place which you can be absolutely sure, that is your nature as to who you are. That is why philosopher king. Who can rule a country? Who can rule the world? A philosopher king. One who is aware of himself and then playing everything as a role. Every statement, every thought is a role. Such a person, naiva kanchit karo, such a man, even karmani abhipravrittopi, while doing action, doesn't do anything. Why is it so? Nirasi yata chittatma. This is the description of a wise man. How is he? Nirasi, no asa. Nirgata ashisho yasmat, nirasi. From whom all these expectations, cravings, desires, for the sake of satisfaction, fulfillment, importance, security has completely gone away. No more the person desires for the sake of happiness, satisfaction, contentment. Think of it. See, this is these statements are, you can listen 100 times in 100 million ways, But please appreciate, when you say the person is no more desiring for anything, now don't think of he doesn't desire mixture, huh? He does not desire for a watch or a toy. No, we are not talking about that. The person has absolutely no need for anything or anybody in this world to be happy in life. Oh, there are many people who do not want for simple things. You know, that like adult. Adult means what? Oh, these are simple things. They'll tell the children, simple things, why are you fighting for? What you consider simple thing is a big thing for a child. What you consider a big thing is a simple thing for a wise man. Understand? Different stages of life. What you consider as a very simple thing. You know, when a child is crying for a laddu or a toy or a balloon or a top, what do you say? What is a baby? What is a crying for a chocolate? What is this? Should you fight over a chocolate? Now suppose the same child turns back and says, why are you fighting with the uncle for a house? Now what is your answer? That's a house. This is a chocolate. Look, are you fighting? Yes, that's enough. The person who is ruling a country, if you go and tell him, look, this, we are fighting over this small house of business. Why are you just fixing up? This is just a small house. But that's a country, another small country. So what? If every leader understands these things, the country shall fight. Fighting of any kind must stop. Fighting for what? Don't sit down in my place. Why are you coming here? This is my place. Why are you go 2-6 inches? Go. Why are you sitting down here? You think this is anyway different from the China-India border war? Two individuals cannot take 6 inches. Don't come near this. Fighting. Two countries fighting. This is the border. What is that? The person who can't even accept his own little, this chair or that chair, this room or that room, he wants to dream to be the country's leader. And what type of leader he shall be? Fighting with everything, everybody. Why the world is in a trouble? Children occupying the biggest position. Totally, the person is not aware of himself. And the moment you talk about this, these are religion. This is not religion. This is what the mistake. Unfortunate part of it is Upanishads, Vedas are as the sin looked upon as part of a religion. Itself is not a religion. That is why the whole tradition is so beautiful. It talks about yourself. You appear, you see yourself who you are. Then, nirasi. The cravings have stopped from your life. Cravings have stopped. Needs, need not. Food is a need. There is a difference between food as a need and food as a craving. Are you getting that? Food as a need and food as a craving. A shelter as a need and a shelter as a craving. Understand? Anything as a need or anything as a craving. Craving means without which I cannot live. Need is, for sustenance it is needed. If I can have it, excellent. Cannot have it, somehow we shall manage. You are not disturbed by it. Nirasi. That is why the difference you can see between luxury as well as the necessity. Necessity is something without which you cannot live. Your body cannot sustain itself. Luxury is something without which you can live. When air is necessity, air conditioning is a luxury. When a food is a necessity, types of food is a luxury. When water is a necessity, hot or cold water is a luxury. Without luxury, without air conditioning, you can survive. Today, whole day, there is no electricity. Anybody dead? What happened? No fan. So why don't you come to class at 4 o'clock? 9 people dead in the room. What happened? Why? There is no electricity, no fan, dead. Is there anybody? Even if electricity goes away for years, million years also makes no difference. Why? People are living without electricity for millions of years. They were all alive. Air conditioning was not there, they were alive. Different types of food was not there, they were alive. Think of it. Different types of foods were not there, they were still alive. Different types of palaces, houses like these days were not there, they were also alive. There are no many cars, planes, sheep, none of these things were there, people were alive. So why the complication today? Think. But today's person, what is that? We fight because I don't have this car, I don't have this house, I don't have this land, I don't have this seafront house. What does it mean? The luxuries have become necessity. Advance or progress in human society means as though how many luxuries you have converted to necessity. That is why life is more complicated. Whereas in the Upanishadic Vedic studies, understanding of yourself means how many necessities you convert to luxury. Understand? Living is a necessity. Listen carefully. Living is a necessity. Because physical body is there, body must be kept alive. Why must be kept alive? Because when the body is existing, for the average person, when the body is existing, I am existing. When my existence is independent of the physical body, when I come to discover who am I is independent of the physical body, then the existence of body becomes a luxury. For me to exist, body need not exist. For me to express myself in the world, body needs to exist. But for me to be me, body need not exist. Therefore, keeping the body alive is no more a struggle, it's a luxury. Are you getting that? A thought is no more a necessity. For me to be me, a particular thought need not be there. If it's there, I am there, not there also, I am there. Thinking becomes a luxury. The whole living becomes a luxury. That is why Nitya Uschava Bhavet Tesham. For those people who understand the reality of themselves, the whole existence is a luxury. Such people, for whom living is a celebration, they can help everybody to celebrate their living. For whom living is a struggle, how is he going to initiate you into celebration? Think. The person whose own life is an emptiness, how is he going to initiate you into celebration of living? The person naturally exploits everybody, destroys everybody. That is why all these promises, politicians, this fellow promises, that man promises, all these things that you see, it means nothing because their own life there is total emptiness. Every person must be aware of himself. So nirasi. And therefore, yata chittatma means yata chitta antakarana. Yata, the chitta antakarana, memories, antakarana, the mind, mano, buddhi, chittam, ahankar, all. Yata. Which is completely under his control. Ask yourself a question. Does a thought take you for a ride or you ride your thought? Every thought. Yata chittatma. This language will not be understood by millions and billions of people. It's not easy. How can I talk about it? The people live like animals. Whatever thought, that is how he lives. And what is a free society? Which facilitates my total unconscious living. That is a free society. Free society means If anything anybody tells you not to do, it's not a free society. It's a free society. I should be able to do whatever I want to. If I want to drink, I drink. If I smile, I smile. If I shout, I shout. Free society. In that free society, you are the prisoner. The society is free, but you are a prisoner. You are the prisoner of your own thought, own emotions. Understand? Yata chittatma, chittam mantaganatmaya. Yataha means samyataha. The person, samyata, totally under control. So, nirasi, yata chittatma. Why is it so? And therefore, what happens to him? Tyakta sarva parigraha. Sarva parigraha tyakta. Sarva parigraha. Completely free from any dependence, possession. Sarva parigraha tyakta. There is nothing on which you depend. Ask yourself the question. Are you dependent upon something? When you talk these, why am I talking? The people are frivolous. Little educated man, so he has done his PhD, or he has got a job, he has got his money. The moment, see, first time when they listen to this, suppose today's class is the first class for somebody. If you tell, that is why when you out of context, when you talk to people, it doesn't mean anything. It's because you are listening from the beginning, you are coming to this. Now pick up this idea, isolated, you share it with somebody. You know what shall I say? Blast you out. Sarva parigraha tyakta. What nonsense the Bhagavad Gita is writing. No possession should be there. Hey, who said that? Tyakta sarva parigraha means you are not dependent on your possession. The other person laugh at you. Oh, so everybody will be a beggar. See, that is why you should not talk to anybody. Why am I talking today? Because I got a letter today, I got a note from somebody who is trying to convince somebody as wonderful that this knowledge is so beautiful. But the other person is not at all ready to listen. This person is over-enthusiastic to push that idea onto the other person. Hey, what a marvelous waste of time. Because whenever you say something, the other person gives his meaning to your word and goes on destroying it. What is this? Your consciousness, you should be conscious. Everybody is conscious. There is no consciousness. Consciousness is not something there. It is varied from people to people. What? Trying to convince those people is such a marvelous waste of time. When you are using a word, in what context you are using? In what context the Shastra is using? Does any time this line comes up, does any time the message comes up that you must give up everything, run away from everything? The amount of thing Krishna says, Tasmat Kuru Karmatam, therefore act, looks like he's an workaholic. Do not look how before Arjuna has done, before Janaka has done, before so many kings have done. Purvehi, Purvatara Krutam, everybody has done. And here the armchair philosopher sitting down there, picking up their wisdom from the books. And then what the person says, oh, it's all useless. It's all useless. The person need not study anything. Why? Because he can read the language. This is so meaningless. Can you really, Shankara, the whole tradition has seen this. Therefore they say, Shankara writes clearly, Mahapanditopi, even though you are a Mahapandita, mighty great scholar, Shastra Vicharam, investigation into scripture, Swatantrena ma kuryat. You should never do independent investigation into scripture, because you shall not understand. Why? Because you shall interpret according to your mind. When the scripture wants you to go beyond the mind, go beyond the eye, here the eye is sitting down there and interpreting everything. And whatever the interpretation it shall give, whichever is convenient for him. Because how many individualities, the ahankar, this I thought, are ready to accept another person as more mature than him? I know, I have heard, I have seen. But these things are useless. How long it takes to dismiss? How long does it take to dismiss anything? So to a dismissive personality who is steeped, literally steeped in the quagmire mud of individuality, if you are talking to him about freedom, he doesn't understand the language of freedom. For him, the language of freedom is, you should have your own money, own car, own house. They do not understand, by depending on money, house, things, you can never be independent. But that is the dream of the socialist, communist, capitalist, secularist. Or the religious person's perversion is, give up everything. So that is, there is a fighting between religion and the secularism. In self-awareness, you are as comfortable with the religious man's attitude, that comfortable with secular person's attitude. Yes, sometimes the renunciation is wonderful, sometimes indulgence is beautiful. Which one is good? You decide. The ball is always on your court. The teacher's job is to point out, fire is hot. Touch it, get burnt. Stand apart, enjoy the warmth. What shall I do? Don't ask me, you decide. This is the nature of the fire. If you know yourself who you are, you shall be free from the hold of everything. If you do not know yourself about who you are, you shall be caught up by everything. What is wrong in being caught up? You decide. When you are getting caught up and that is the time feeling suffocated, don't shout now. Because that is what? Normal. That is why you shall be suffering. No, I shall be caught up and I still not suffer. That will not work. He is like telling, I should put my hand in the fire, but I should not be burnt. What nonsense. Yes. If you can play the role, can you play the role? To play the role, you must be yourself. That is sarva parigraha tyakta. No dependence on position. There was a person, they tell a story about some saint who was living in a mountain. In a small little hutment, he was living in a mountain, and some visitors have gone to see him. When they have gone to see him, they looked at him, and the person is very, very frugal, very simple living. They asked him, how come in your house there are no furniture? How do you live? There is nothing. There is no furniture, no nothing in this room. How do you live in this room? This man asked them, where is your furniture? He asked the visitors, where is your furniture? He said, what are you talking? We are traveling. I am also traveling. I am just traveling through life. Why carrying so much possessions? So therefore should you make it a point, and whoever is living with possessions, useless. Are you traveling through life or lost in life? Don't give that nonsense. With what attitude somebody is living with something, how do you know? That is why you put yourself into test. Agni Pariksha. You put yourself into the test, into the fire of knowledge. You have to be very, very careful. Like a communist Russia days. Nowadays I don't know what it is, but those days. One fellow was walking down in Moscow. Story, walking down in Moscow. And he saw a beautiful gleaming American car. It's parked on the sideways. Then he said, wow, he asked. Whoa, look at these Russians. Beautiful cars they have. They have built beautiful cars. Then this man says, are you nuts? That's not a Russian car. Can you not see it's an American car? Don't you know the difference between an American car and a Russian car? He said, yes, I know the difference between an American car and a Russian car, but I don't know whom am I talking. Suppose you are a communist, then I shall be immediately imprisoned. Because how can you praise the American cars? You are not a patriot. So I know the car, but I know the person to whom am I talking. Very careful, you see. That is how you are. In wisdom, you are absolutely convinced of who you are. But when talking to other person, you are very careful. Whom are you talking? Because that fellow is an idiot. He doesn't know anything about himself. Totally ignorant, not aware of himself. So suppose you say, oh, absolutely happy. I'm happy. I can see a movie. I can do everything. Hey, come on, let's see a movie. Huh? This fellow also wants to see a movie also. Oh my God. Look, dangerous fellow, dangerous fellow. Ah. Tonight you are having a nice dinner on the rooftop under the moonlight. Oh, nice renunciate life. Very nice renunciate life. I thought I should come here, eat from a leaf, eat in both the hands. Now I'm eating rooftop dinner under the moonlight. This is the most idiotic place I have come to. The fellow can go. Don't be surprised. Are you getting that point? Because each person has his idea. That is why don't try to convince somebody. As Gandhi said very nicely, be the change that you want to see in the world. You be the change that you want to see in the world. If you say, if everybody should be happy, can you be happy first? You want to make everybody happy? Yes, be happy. And think for yourself, what is that something makes you happy? If you think, objects make me secure, you shall kill yourself to make everybody rich. Because you think objects make everybody secure. But still you don't understand, objects do not give you the absolute security. So if a person understands that, my security lies in myself, I cannot take away this sense of poverty, emptiness from people by giving them wealth. So as much I am aware of myself, that same wisdom must be shared by everybody. Then for keeping ourselves going, we shall need certain things. You shall create the most beautiful society. But the person who has been struggling, distribution of wealth, redistribution of wealth, equal distribution of wealth, no production of wealth, communist or capitalist, it is not going to solve. It will solve some physical problem, but the subtler emptiness will not go away. A person has to see it in himself. That is why. Beautiful, he says. Tyakta sarva parigraha. And having done it, what does he do? Please see. Sariram kevalam karma. Kurvan kilvisham na apnoti. So very contented with himself. Therefore, inactive? No. Karma kurvan. What? Sariram karma kurvan. Sariram. That which is kevalam karma, sariram karma. Sarira nivartyam, sariram karma abhipretam. That every karma that is to keep this physical body going. To himself as well as for everybody. Sariram kevalam karma. Actions are done for keeping your body going. Think, friends, if you want to keep your body growing, don't you think enough of food production should be there? Enough of hospital should be available? Enough of security should be available? Enough of comfort should be available? And just think of it. Shariram kevalam karma. He does his activities to keep the body going. To keep the body alive, food is needed. So only for yourself you work. There are 5 people, 10 people around. 5,000, 10,000, 500,000, country, continents, whatever you see. To keep the physical body going. You may be suffering one day a disease, but the whole country, continent, hospitals, everything should be there. So this is where you think, this is where your macro thinking comes. When your micro thinking is complete, macro thinking becomes beautiful. When an individual's life, you see very clearly in your personal life, you can run a kingdom. Because you know for sure what happens to the other person's life. Sariram kevalam. So any activities, so do not promise, please understand, you may be a guru or you may be a king. You may be a person who is teaching anything, or suppose you are ruling over a kingdom and you are a totally richest of the rich man. Never promise happiness to people from things. What is the political promises? We shall provide everybody one, what is the TV? We shall give everybody 1 kilo rice. You are getting rice which is 200 rupees per kilo. Mega screen, flat screen, you have it. How happy you are? But you want the whole world to be happy for 2 rupees. Like in India, political inducement, what is that? Everybody should have 2 kilo rice. Yes, to keep them alive, that is good. But don't expect they are going to be happy. After 2 kilo rice, they shall say, can you give 2 kilos for 1 rupee? Or after some time, why are you charging that 1 rupee? Let Exchequer take over. 6,000 crore, another 6,000 crore. It's a fantastic programming for total laziness. If everything comes on the way, who shall work? I am telling you an example. If you sincerely think about it, in India now, populist measure, every person should be given 2 kilo rice. For 2 rupees. 1 kilo rice, 2 rupees. In a villages, now do you know what is the problem? The people staying in big cities, organizing things for the poor people, of course is needed because there are many people who are not getting food also. But does it reach to the right person? Why is it so? Please see. In a village, there are 5 people. Everybody is supposed to, person should be given 20 kilo rice for 2 rupees. So 5 people get 40 rupees, 200 rupees. 100 kilo for 200 rupees, they got it. 200 rupees is nothing. They work for 2-3 days, they get 200 rupees. So what do? They sell that rice. They sell that rice. And no need to work. The person who was working and getting 20 rupees, now he doesn't want to work. Why? Rice is there, you collect some fish or something from somewhere, you go. People are not working anymore. Why should he work and get money? Welfare measure. Welfare measure for whom? There has to be, some foolproof method should be there. The person who is really poor, okay, you can get him something like that. But if you talk about it, so you are anti-poverty, you are anti-poor, you are anti-social. What is this? TVs are given, electricity is not there. TVs are given to everybody. Every day, 8 hours electricity cut. In cities, if it is 4-5 hours electricity cut, villages imagine, and in Hartman, of course there are no electricity, but TV set is there. So what is that for? They put the TV set, put the thing, and put a cup of coffee or tea, drink. That is the table. Or after some time, sell it up to somebody. Anyway, you got it free, so 500 rupees also profit for you. So sell it up and like you cannot believe in foreshore estate. In Madras, foreshore estate, fishermen people were given flat. Those days, 1976, 78, when I came first, those days, 80s, they built the thing and gave it to free. You know what happened to the fishermen people, what did they do? Of course, each one occupied a flat. After a few months, every one of them is rented, they are back to the beach. In the same plastic tree. Because it's free. Open space. They are used to that. And what do they? They'll keep their goats and everything in the flat also. No problem. What do you do? Please appreciate. Why am I telling is because the person who has become rich, there are 2 types of people. Educated, rich, 2 types of people. One is totally heartless, absolutely individualistic, no consideration on anybody. Another person is guilt-ridden because he came from poverty. Now he is rich, but he is not able to do anything for anybody. So do something for somewhere, throw little so that he doesn't feel uncomfortable. So people who have killed their conscience, they need not do anything for anybody. These are the types of people. So, and once you have riches, you are not going to part with for anybody. Therefore, struggle. Whoever has got it, other person trying to snatch it from him. Continuous struggle and it shall continue to be there until each person finds his source of strength in himself. What a world it will be, friends. You be happy with yourself. You choose to be under a tree. Another side build a palace. I am not jealous of you. Sariram kevalam karma. Keeping the body going. Emotions, please understand. Your happiness, fulfillment, contentment, satisfaction, ecstasy all comes from within yourself, who you are. Body has to be maintained. But what happens? People are human beings, more today emotionally complicated, emotional animals. They use the body to find the emotional satisfaction. That is why body has become such a problem. You use the wealth for your gross satisfaction. You use the gross wealth for subtle satisfaction. It doesn't work, and it will never work. Why it will not ever work? Because hunger is of two types. Gross hunger, subtle hunger. Gross hunger is what? Hunger of the stomach. Think. Hunger of the stomach. Please see it very clearly. Gross hunger is hunger of the stomach. By thinking of food, can you satisfy the hunger of your body? Thinking of food. By thinking of food, you cannot satisfy the hunger of the stomach. We have two different levels. Subtle thought cannot satisfy the gross hunger. In the same way, your discontentment, emptiness, is a subtle emptiness, subtle hunger, cannot be satisfied by the gross object. So whether it is an empire, the whole world, it is not going to satisfy this subtle hunger. There are two different dimensions. As in gross object, as in gross hunger cannot be satisfied by subtle thought of the object. The subtle emptiness, that sense of emptiness, insecurity, fear, anxiety cannot be eliminated, cannot be taken away by the gross object. Understand? It cannot be taken away the gross object. That is why you can provide any type of gross convenience for people. The more you provide, the greater will be emptiness, because the person wants more and more. That is why the more you fulfill it, more exaggerated your need becomes. Until you go to the two-bedroom apartment, you never thought there is a two-bedroom possible. You are happy or unhappy, you are in a small house. Now two-bedroom you got. Now you want 4-bedroom. Now you want 10-bedroom, 500-bedroom. What all things you want in life? It goes on increase. Have you seen anybody telling contented? If the person says I am contented, because if he doesn't say so, other people will laugh at him. How can you say you are unhappy when you have got everything at your disposal? Therefore the fellow says, okay, I am very happy because other people are unhappy. But that's not the point. That is why the celebrities will suffer alone. When they are alone, they cry miserably in their own little bedroom. Then one day they die. Bas. So much of physical wealth, power, position, if it doesn't give you that sense of fulfillment, how do you think a little something thrown as a crumbs at the doors of the beggar will make the whole world happy? No political solution can ever satisfy people. You have to bring in the satisfaction at the level of the mind. The person must see the truth for himself. Then you choose. Small thing, big thing. Little house, big house. You choose. Aparigraha. Sariram kevalam karma. Kurvanna kilvisham na apnoti. The person never gets any kilvisham, papam, agitation in life. So he continues to act in life for what? Keeping his body going. Helping other people to be sustained. Sustaining himself, sustaining others. You know, Even if you create a community like that, think, even if you create a community like that, one person happy with himself, minimum needs, maximum satisfaction. Suppose there is a community of such people, you create 100 such people, 200 such houses, it's like a paradise in the world. And thereafter what is needed is more, go on expanding. But at no time, please understand, that's the knowledge must be compromised. You cannot compromise with the wisdom, the vision of yourself. You cannot compromise on that. And I say, I understand, but little I also doesn't understand. Little I know, but other things okay, doesn't make any difference. No, if there is some emptiness inside you, you shall create a problem for others. Why? Because you are a problem for yourself. That is why Jnanagni Dagdha Karmana. Put yourself in the fire test, Agni Pariksha, in this test of fire. Are you a contented person? You want to live with a group? You must have no personal need. Personal need means cravings, by fulfilling which you shall be happy. Suppose you think you must have this, laddu, or you must have this, simple example, mango. Everybody gets, you don't get. You can create a hell for everybody. Everybody has it, I don't have it. So what? Let everybody has. Or everybody don't have, I also don't have. Everybody has, I don't have, so what? I am happy with myself. Some other time other person is denied, so what? Only if you understand, you understand. You cannot be talked about. As Ashtavakra Gita says, Tadrushat aneva jananti. Such people will know such people. Others cannot even comprehend what is the person's thought. Only when you see, or else you cannot comprehend. Because person cannot find. Is it possible such people can be existing in the world, happy with themselves? Understand? Okay. So, kill visam na apnoti. Having told, then how else then how does he live in the world? Read. This is again beautiful line. So many times you quote it. Yadruchalava santushtaha Dvandvatito vimasyaraha Samasiddhava siddhauche Krutvapino nibadhyate Gata sangasya muktasya Jnanavasthita chetasah Yajna yacharatah karma Samagram praviliyate Yadruchalabha santushtah Dvandvatito vimasyarah Samasiddhava siddhauche Krutvapina nibadhyate Gata sangasya muktasya Jnanavasthita chetasah Yajna yacharatah karma Samagram praviliyate. Beautiful. Such a person, how does he move in the world? Yadruchalava santushta Dvandvatita vimasyara. These are like your testing ground. What type of person he is? Yadruchalava santushta. Whatever comes on the way, he is happy with himself. Yadruchalava santushta. Whatever comes. Just imagine the situation. One person says, whatever I want must come in my life. Other says, whatever comes, I am happy with it. Think. One person says, whatever comes in life, I am happy with it. Other person says, whatever I want must come in life. What will happen? Think. Average people find it difficult to grasp it. You know why? For you to say, whatever comes in my life, I am happy with whatever comes in life, it begins with, I am happiness. Then only whatever comes in life, I will be happy. But you cannot take it as an ideal. Why people hate this? People cannot comprehend this. Because they think, whatever comes in life, you must be happy with it. How? How? Impossible. Hunger comes, disease comes, pain comes, you must be happy in life. How? How to be happy in life in hunger, thirst, disease and everything? Impossible. That attitude can come only when you are happy with yourself. Then whatever comes in life, you are fine. So, when you say whatever comes in life, you are happy with it, does it mean that you totally forfeit your responsibility for whatever comes? So, disease comes, suffer, why cure it? So some religions are like that. Any disease comes also, you are not supposed to cure it. You are not supposed to take medicine. You are not supposed to take the blood transfusion. You are not supposed to, take any care of it. Hey, this is madness. Please. If you are happy with yourself, you can live with any condition of the body. But I can be happy with the health, I can happy with the disease. But better to live with health than to live with the disease. This is where comes your simple comprehension. I am happy with poverty, happy with prosperity. But prosperity is better than poverty. Therefore I work for it. For what? For its own sake. Shariram kevalam karma. The difficulty in comprehension comes because people think, if you are a happy man, you should be comfortable with everything. Yes, you are comfortable with everything. You are comfortable with pain, you are comfortable with pleasure. Happy with convenience, happy with inconvenience. That language is not understood by people. How can I be happy with inconvenience? Because your being happiness means you are who you are. Then situations are varied. Body is young or old. So your immortality, listen, your immortality does not depend upon the condition of the body. You are immortal when young, you are immortal when old. But immortal and youth, a better combination than immortal and old age. Because in old age, you have to take care of a lot of things. Are you getting that point? Because body is passing. But happy with yourself. You are contented at rest with yourself. So whatever comes in life, I am happy with it. But then I go on working for it. Why should I work for it? Sarira yatra, sariram kevalam karma. To keep the body going in healthy condition. That is why you do not deny the world, yet you do not depend upon the world. Both way. You are not denying this creation, neither you are depending on the creation. Yadruchalavadantushva. And tasmat dvandvatita dvandva. Dvandva means sukha dukha, jaya jaya, labha alabha, sukha dvandva. These are the conflict in life. Happiness, unhappiness, pain, pleasure, victory, defeat, gain, loss. Dvandvatita. Everything is same. Both are fine. I do the job. Imagine a scientist doing like this. An artist, painter, musician, anybody you are. You can ask a question, but where is the motivation? If everybody is happy with himself, this is the question people will ask. Where is the motivation? If everybody is happy with himself, how the world runs? Your motivation, please write it down. Not you can't gold letter, platinum letter, any letter you like, or a simple ink and pen you write. A simple thing. Your motivation must never come from searching for happiness. Your motivation comes from looking for better comforts in life. Happiness is your self. Comfort is your motivation. Understand? Happiness is not your motivation. Because happiness is motivation, it becomes a never-ending mirage. The person goes on searching, but never gets it. Think of that. It's a never-ending search. Because the person is looking for happiness in life. Think for. If everybody is happy, then how can he work? Then for what he should work for his life? You may be happy, but your body is sick. So look for its health. You may be happy, but your body is hungry. Your hunger doesn't take away your happiness. I'm happy, happily hungry. But my happiness doesn't take away the hunger. Listen carefully. My happiness will not take away the hunger. Ajivan, think. Oh, Mahadeva. My happiness doesn't take away the poverty. Ajivan, prosperity doesn't bring me happiness. Can you equate prosperity with happiness? Then every prosperous, every rich man will be happy. So, Ajivan, your education, your wealth, your power, your position doesn't make you automatically happy. So also, just because you are the happiness, you are the truth itself, it will not make you automatically rich. For riches, you have to act. To be educated, you must be striving. And why should I do that? With prosperity, with education, life will be better than poverty, illiteracy. Therefore, my motivation comes from comfort for the body, comfort for the world, comfort for everybody. Therefore, I am rich, therefore I am educated. For happiness, nothing shall matter. Happiness is independent of poverty, prosperity, literacy, illiteracy. That is why you shall see in the world, the rich person, educated person, is more dangerous than the poor and the illiterate. Because poor and illiterate, empty, but their emptiness doesn't mean anything. It cannot be that dangerous. And the educated person is empty, it destroys the whole world. If you have one educated person in your family, the whole family can be destroyed. 100 uneducated people, of course they will be, not that they don't fight, they also fight. But there will be more fighting for survival. Here shall be fighting for supremacy, power, position, all these things. Today the whole society has become like that because wrong education. Very simple. Not that therefore education should not be there. Never think like that. Either this or that. No. Your motivation comes from your comfort. I am happy with myself being what I am. But physical body must be maintained. Health, wealth, all this prosperity, that must be taken care of. So, when I am working for it, sometimes it happens. Success, beautiful. Failure, wonderful. Why? Continue. Do not rest on your laurels. Do not rest on your success, nor brood over the failure. Continue. Life must continue. This morning, after the class, somebody asked a question. So, Swamiji, it all seems to be nothing. I mean, just, what does it all mean? It seems nothing, because I am always happy with myself. I said, yes, that is what it is. On the cloud, what do you call it? Water. When it rains, what is that? Water. When it becomes a puddle, it becomes water. When it is flowing, what is that? River is what? Water. Goes and mixes where? Merges in ocean. Water. See, from the cloud above to the ocean is all water. But in between, how many things are there? Cloud, rain, puddle, brooks, rivers, ocean. What all manifestations? Between happiness to happiness, creation. Always the same infinity. That is why just play the role and go away. Play your role and just move. And you want to make, no, I want to make other people's lot better. That is an idealistic fantasy. Other people, everybody's heart is bleeding for others. When your bleeding heart bleeds everybody. Are you getting that? Your heart bleeds for others, you think, but your bleeding heart exploits everybody. Everybody wants, oh, I helped so many people. That's what I was telling you, For somebody to be saintly, there must be poverty in the world. So if there is no poverty, the saints will disappear, no? So for the saints to be burned, poverty must be maintained. For the great political and social reformer to be born, there must be great confusion. So everybody is supposed wonderful. Who needs this political philosophy? Can you give knowledge? Right knowledge and see what happens to the world. Objective knowledge for the sake of the world. Running your life. Subjective knowledge about yourself, about who you are. Paravidya, aparavidya. Give both and see the condition of the world. Why? First you get both and see your condition. That shall be the testing ground. The trouble is, we are busy prescribing for others and never looking at ourselves. I have been educated, I have been from university, I got this job, I got this money, I got this married. What happened to me? At the end of my life, I hate everything, I want to run away. What did you, how it blessed you? I knew all these things, now I am happy with myself. Whoa! Now suddenly everything becomes a blessing. My education is a blessing, my father is a blessing, mother is a blessing, creation is a blessing, world is a blessing, everything is beautiful. Sarvam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadruma. The whole world is full of festivities and celebrations. Every tree is a wish-yielding tree. Samastavari Gangavari Vaha Punya Samasta Kriya. Every drop of water is holy. Every action is worship. Why? Because I am happy with myself. So you are the testing ground. You understand? Please. That is why you can't say, I am studying here so I can teach somebody. For God's sake, stop that nonsense. You do never study for somebody's sake. You study for your sake. Make your life beautiful. I passed engineering. I became an engineer, but my life is empty. What shall I tell my children? Be an engineer? Yes, because if they are not illiterate, that will be much more a problem. Okay, with this daily struggle for the food goes away. Emotional struggle begins. Every struggle becomes exaggerated. Why? Stronger the individuality, problems are more exaggerated. When your individuality is very, very strong, every problem shall be exaggerated. It's like looking through that convex mirror. You look at your face, how big it looks. Oh, big one. How big your face? Small one, no? But that mirror, that ego is the huge convex mirror. Whatever it touches. See, if the ordinary man does not get a little food, sir, I don't have a food. Ask for the rich man, I don't have food here. What type of place is this? What type of country is this? What type of people are here? He will blame everybody in the world. Poor man, no food. But no food, no food. He stays with himself. Good, bad, we are not talking about now, okay? Your problems shall be exaggerated because you are a false, exaggerated personality. You don't know the truth of yourself. Bigger the role, bigger your frustration. Because you are sticking to the role, clinging to the position that you are holding on to. So such a person, whereas happy with himself, dandvati tavimaschara samasiddhaucha asiddhaucha. Hey Arjuna, krutvapi nanivadhyate. Such a person, krutvapi, even though he engages himself in every action, na nibadhyate, doesn't feel frustrated, bound, imprisoned, miserable. Why? Sama, siddhau, asiddhau. He is same in siddhi, success, asiddhi, failure. Works out, wonderful. Doesn't work out also, wonderful. I am happy. I want to take a 10 kilometers walk. Why? Nothing else to do. Walked out, wonderful. Could not walk, okay, it's all right. You don't, neither you are suffering from a guilt, nor you give other people guilt. Today, our generation, what happens? Previously, we were living in a small village. 5, 6 families, 20 families, 30 families. There was nothing much to worry. Today, what is happening? Communism in another country, flood in another place, terrorist attack in that place. Religions have become, you understand, just like political philosophies, religious philosophies, all these things, what has happened? Become the round the world phenomenon. So something somewhere happens, sitting down in a cave, you are affected by it. You read a book, you read a magazine, listen to the news, something somewhere, whole thing is shattering. The person doesn't know how to process this information. He is not aware of himself. Success is very important. That you must be known to everybody, you must achieve something, you know. You must be seen by everybody, adored by everybody, accepted for what? Are you accepting yourself? You know, it has become a contrast. Not many people, the megalomaniacs will not understand the simplicity of it. In our generation, it's like a maniac generation, total megalomaniacs. What is that? Everybody must be known by everybody. For what? Am I contented with myself? Am I happy with myself? Do I respect myself? It takes immense vigilance, total awareness of yourself, to be contented with yourself, to counteract all these cravings for recognition, for fame, for name, for all these things. Because as it is, I am absolutely happy with myself. Like anything in this nature, no tree looks for recognition. No dust, no star, no galaxy looks for any recognition. Everything is as beautiful. Can you live with it? As long as your body is, you are enjoying the creation. Body goes, you are one with the creation. When I am one with the universe itself, what is the greater identity I can get? Oh, after my death, everybody remember me. Does anybody know now? Does Buddha know that he is remembered by so many people? Does anybody know that somebody is remembered by so many people or not people? Think. You live a life and you pass. Thereafter somebody takes over. Who knows? You live your life well. Vimaschara. No jealousy. See that point, how he says? Dandvatito, free from the pairs of opposites, vimaschara. No maschara. Maschara means mascharya. That is the maschara seva mascharya. That is jealousy. Parotkrishta društva jayamanam santapa. Looking at other person's prosperity, your heart is going down. Are you jealous? Ask yourself a question. Are you jealous? Why do you say you? How do you know you are jealous? If something you feel is better than you. Where from jealousy comes? Somebody is better than me. In absolute, incomparable existence, there is no chance for jealousy. In a relative world, somebody will be better, somebody will be lesser. Therefore, why jealousy? In a relative world, Somebody will be 6 feet, somebody will be 5 feet. Somebody will be 500 kilo, somebody 200 kilo. Somebody a billionaire, somebody is an ordinary person. It has to be. Nobody is the last word. Somebody can study well, somebody cannot study well. Relative world. You yourself, sometimes you are bright, sometimes you are dull. Sometimes you are healthy, sometimes you are unhealthy. Sometimes you are hungry, sometimes you are not hungry. You yourself, can you live with your own apparent contradictions and opposite situations? If you can, you accept yourself completely, vimaschara, no jealousy of any kind for such a person. Krutva api na nivadyate. Hey Arjuna, even when he is involved in action, na nivadyate, never. So he never tells you what action or what inaction he does. Attitude. Are you getting that? Once you are happy with yourself, thereafter what you do, up to you. My action is inaction. What do you want to do? Nothing. Very good. My action is fully involved with everything. Right. But now suppose other people come and praise him. Oh, this man is so active. He has done so many schools, colleges, hospitals, with the people. Now the person is inactive. How does it matter? How does it matter? It matters a lot. Because if you are sitting down by yourself, how does it matter to anybody? But when you are active, it matters to a lot of people. Therefore, don't say a person is active is as wonderful as a person is inactive. In happiness, one and the same. But in the meaningful existence for the sake of the world, the inactive person is a burden. Because he has the capacity to do, doesn't do it. So don't equate that. Please understand. What is the difference between Palar and Ganges? There is a river in, Palar is a river near Madras. Palar means milk river. So God also doesn't leave any water in that. Milk river you see. There should be no water. So there is a river which has no water. It is just like a map. There are rivers with no water. Where? In the map. So that is a river. Huge river. Another is Ganges. Both are one and the same. Around the Ganges, civilizations flourish. Around this river, forest. A person who is a living river, happy with himself, knowledge flowing down. Flourishing civilizations around the knowledge. Happy with himself, simply sitting. Yeah, there will be some people, ooh, you know what it is. So don't compare. Yet, both have their beauty. Both have their beauty. No comparison. From the absolute standpoint, beautiful. Vimaschara, no sense of jealousy. Because you achieve something, oh, others are useless, I am the only one. Not say the other person, so what, what's so big deal working? Say you can't work. Therefore, don't dismiss the other person. Or just because you're working, don't dismiss other people, they're all useless. No, each one has a place. Dvandvadito vimas. You understand, it's fantastic life. Such a person, gata sangasya muktasya, jnana avastita chetasaha, yajnaya acharatah karma samagram praviliyate. Such a person, gata sangasya, who has no more dependent on the result of action, tasmat, such a person, muktasya, who is free with himself. Why is he free with himself? Jnana avastita chetasa. Jnana avastita chetasa. Chetas, the mind, jnane avastita, abiding in the truth that is himself. And therefore he is free. And therefore, no more dependence on the result of action. For such a person, how does he act in life? Yajnaya acharata karma. All karma, he does it in the spirit of yajna, spirit of sacrifice. Everything in a spirit of yajna, sacrifice. The ritual, the whole living becomes a huge ritual, a lovely sacrifice, yajna. We shall see that tomorrow. Samagram karma pabiliyat. In that, every action is completely resolved. No more action ever binds him, because it's done in the right attitude of sacrifice. And what is that yajna? Read. Brahmarpanam Brahmavi. Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma samadhina. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi. Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma samadhina. Don't touch your plate. Okay. Anyway, so this is the one attitude. Samagram karma praviliyate. Yajnaya acharataka. The whole living becomes a huge, lovely ritual, sacrifice, where everything is sacrificed at the altar of wisdom. What is that? We shall see tomorrow morning. Okay? Think of it. Close your eyes, please. Nice, thank you, friends.